Hello, welcome to Tea and Reflections. I've got my mug of good old English breakfast tea this morning. And I want to continue the theme of what's right with us, not what's wrong with us. And I want to ask you whether you think there's such a thing as an evil person. Is there such a thing as somebody who is inherently evil? I don't know the answer to that question. I suppose if you believe there is, you could look around the world today and you could find plenty of evidence to support that belief. But what I do know for sure is that if you decide instead to view people as having the potential for great love and goodness and resilience, then that is what you will see in people. And if that's your starting point, it will lead to a much better outcome for everybody. I was in my social work days when I was working with children who had a lot of difficulties and were placed for adoption. I was very influenced by somebody called Dan Hughes, who is a therapist, very skilled therapist who works with troubled children. And I've seen a lot of videos of him working very effectively with children and young people. And he always says that his starting point is to find something about the child that he really likes. So he looks beyond all the labels and he begins by looking for something that he likes about the kid, whatever it is. And I recently heard another story along those lines, which made a big impact on me. And it was a story that I heard from somebody who's in the same line of business as me. She offers coaching and counselling to people. And I'm going to call her the wise counsellor for the sake of the story. And she was working with a group of homeless people. And there was a woman in the group called, I'll call her Julie, who was really in trouble, you could say. She was in trouble with the law, she had no money, she was homeless, she was pregnant and she didn't know who the father of the baby was. From any kind of measure, you'd have to say that her life was in big trouble. And the wise counsellor just kept reminding Julie of Julie's resilience and of her potential to make good decisions about her life and of her potential for love. And even though it seems so unlikely, something must have gone in, because after a few weeks of meeting with Julie, one day Julie suddenly said, I remember that I had a friend at school who once said to me, if you're ever in trouble, give me a ring. And the wise counsellor said to Julie, oh, that's interesting. Well, have you still got her phone number? And Julie said, I think I might do. And so she found this phone number, even though she hadn't seen this school friend for many years. And she gave this friend a ring. And the friend was delighted to hear from her and invited her to come and stay in her house. And the friend and her mother took in Julie and they gave her nourishing meals and they took her to antenatal care because she hadn't had any antenatal care, and took her to the doctor to get support with her pregnancy. And all from that point onwards, Julie's circumstances turned around and got much, much better. It didn't solve all her problems. She was still homeless. She still had lots of issues to sort out. But the turning point was her realisation that she had the potential for resilience and to find the answers within herself. And that was all because the wise counsellor believed in her and saw that in her. So that's it for today. See you next time.